In this video, we are going to be discussing the struggles with the pricing in the bakery industry. It's unique to the bakery industry, I feel, and it's so important that we talk about this because there's so many people in all of the social media that I'm seeing, including my own personal Facebook group that I run and all the little Facebook groups that I'm part of. People do not understand pricing, and I don't think it's that they don't understand or want to know how to do it. I think that they're using some of these ways of figuring out pricing, but it's not good enough. They need to have their own unique system. So some things I'm seeing here, we've got emotional pricing. So what I'm seeing is someone will say that looks like it's worth $50, or that 5-tier cake looks like it's worth $100, or something like that, or I feel like it's worth this much. That's emotional pricing. That's not real. That's whatever's in your head and your priorities, or that customer, whatever's in their head or their priorities, that's telling them what they're saying. They don't know anything about the data, the numbers, nothing. So emotional pricing doesn't work. We also have asking others, which is very, very common, but super scary because that's also never going to give you an answer. You've got someone working here who's been working for 3 months at home. They have no training, and they're charging $5 for an 8-inch round cake, or $10 or something like that. So when you ask them, how much should I charge for an 8-inch round cake? That's what they say. But their life is completely different than yours. You might have 10 years experience. Well, at that time, you probably would have already come up with a formula for pricing. But if you haven't, your skill level is completely different. They live in a different country than you. Their butter costs $1 and yours costs $10, right? So asking others does not work. One of the main things to consider is that every single baker has a different audience. So whoever you're catering to might be completely different than who they're catering to. So your pricing is going to be different because what you're asking for your profit, like for your time, for your income, is going to be different depending on your audiences and how they purchase your items. If you're doing grab and go stuff, it's going to be a little bit different than if you're doing huge dessert tables at enormous corporate events, right? Like the pricing is just different. So asking others doesn't work. We also have estimating. So estimating is really popular with people who have been in the industry for a number of years, but they just simply either don't know how to make a formula for pricing, they feel like they don't have the time to do it, or they just don't want to. They just don't care about it that much. But I'll tell you, on estimating, almost always you're losing money because I have a feeling there are things going on in the background, certain bills that you're paying, like insurance, website fees, all those little, packaging that you only buy once a year. All those little things are adding up and you're not thinking about it when you're estimating your prices. So what I would really suggest, if that's you, if you have been in the industry for a while and you're estimating, you really need to follow a formula. Either the one that you're going to hear in this course or a different kind of formula to get your unique data, because data is super important, guys. You're going to be collecting your data in this course. I'll show you how to do it. It's not super hard. It does take a few minutes or maybe a day to get it together. But once you have your data, it's gold. That's your strength in your pricing. So down here, to get back to our struggles with our pricing, we also have materials times 3, which is a very popular and okay way to price. It's what I suggest to people who either haven't taken this course or aren't willing to, or are just getting started and they don't have the funds to purchase the course, whatever. Materials times 3 can work, but again, it's like estimating to where you are not making the money that you need to make. You're just not. Materials times 3, it's too variable. You have to have really good numbers and data on your materials, and even then, you're still probably not making enough. So, because there's other things besides materials that you need to cover with your pricing. We also have this is a feeling that us bakers might have, the feeling that you're not good enough to charge money for what you're doing. And it's sad, but it's probably one of the biggest reasons why people don't charge what they should charge. They just feel like they're not good enough. So we're going to go over in the course a little bit about money mindset or pricing for profit mindset, just to give you that oomph to know that you are a human. You're an individual person who's creating a product for another person. If that's happening, you're spending your time and money creating the product, and that other person should be paying for it. So one of the biggest things that I do not want to see is I don't want to see a fellow baker working and not making any money. I don't want to see you break even. That's not good. I want to see you making dollars, because if you're breaking even, you're just paying your bills and that's it. So think about 5, 8, 15 hours you're spending on an order and you're not making any money. That's not okay with me. So you should be making some money. So thinking that you're not good enough, we'll talk about that a little bit more in the mindset again. But when you're thinking about it, just know that you are worth something. Your time is worth something. So using a formula is going to help you get to decide how much your time is worth. And that can change. It can flex. Skill level goes up, income goes up, money goes up, right? So just keep that in mind. You are worth it. You are working for somebody else. And then lastly, another huge struggle is why this course was created, because you don't have a formula. So formulas, like, I know a lot of people don't like math. People didn't like math in school. I get it. But when you own a business, you got to do a little bit of math. Like, it's just part of it. So doing a little bit, I'll take you through it. We'll figure this part out together. And then once you have that oh so important pricing sheet, you don't really have to do any math anymore. That's what's nice about it. All this other stuff, you're doing math all the time. You're always doing math. So if you do the unique formula with me, unique as in it's your data, so you can't get this answer from anyone else. It has to be your data. Once you get this unique formula, you're golden, at least for now, unless you transition to another location, unless your material prices go way up or way down, unless you decide your skill level went up because you took a class or a course, or maybe you just decided, hey, I've been doing this for 3 years, I want to raise. Those are when you get to change your pricing. But if you have your unique formula set, it's so easy to do. You just take the sheet and you take everything times a percentage and you're done. So after you make this initial thing, you're pretty much golden for your business, unless you have a huge growth period or something very drastic changes in your business. So one last thing I want to say about the struggles is, once we get through the struggles, and I want to mention haggling, because haggling is just like rampant in the bakery industry. I want to just draw a little picture to show you what it's like when someone's haggling with you. So what you said, let's say you came to the table, they want a quote for a cake or some kind of order, and you said it is $50, right? And then they came back and said, that's too expensive. I want it for $40. Or can you do it for $40? Or do you have discounts? Or please, I don't have any money. All of those things are haggling. If they say that to you, what they're basically saying is, I'll pay for this part of it. This is your order. I'll pay for this part, but you pay for that part. And that answer is no, guys. We don't pay for our own stuff. They pay for their orders. So when someone's haggling with you, the answer is always no. It's always no. And even if you're worried that you're going to lose that order, that person isn't your customer. In fact, you're better off without them, because they already don't value you. Now, if let's say you said it was $50, they said, do you have any discounts? You say, no, I don't, but thank you for asking. And they say, cool, I'll order it. Then you're golden, right? So by setting that no boundary and then just seeing what they do, saying it in a very professional way, because it's their choice to order it or not, right? So just being professional, no, thank you, or no, or, this is my base cost based on my formula. This covers all my bills and my income, etc. Those people then have the choice. And that is how you kind of cut haggling right at the beginning. You just have to realize that it's not your job to lower your price for your customer. It's their job to order it or not. It is your job to set the price and stick to it. So hopefully this discussion of struggles has brought some light to everything that we're dealing with in the pricing industry. Why these issues are not going to work for you, why you need a unique formula, why you need your data, why it's not okay for people to haggle in this industry, in this country. I'm in the United States. It isn't okay to haggle here. Now, for instance, if you decided that you were going to price your cakes at like $400 and then you wanted people to haggle with you, then that's a different story. But if you have set a price that's based on a formula and it's based on you making income and covering your bills, then there is no haggling. So after we've talked about our struggles here, the next thing we're going to talk about is that money profit mindset, the positive profit mindset that you're going to need to make sure once you set forth your pricing, it's all professional and it's all positive from there on out, even if the customer doesn't order from you.